online session that will be taken up by Dr. Dharmin Jain sir, and I will request technical team to put him online. And his topic is ESC guideline updates on cardio diabetology.
Hi boss, good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Dharmin Jain sir. You are audible. Please go on with your presentation.
Doctor, in community, uh, I am not I'm doing it online. I am here in Delhi with Dr. Viveka. That's fun. Just finished lecture here. Can you see? Can you see? Can you hear me, boss?
We can hear you, sir.
Hello.
Dr. Dharmin Jain, you are audible. Please go on.
Yeah. Okay. Can you go to the first slide? There was some network issue. Can you hear me, boss?
Yes, you can go on. Carry on, please.
Okay. Apologies for the network issue. Can you go to the first slide, please? Okay, so we are going to discuss today the newer guidelines of cardiodiabetology. They came from the ESC in 2023. Next slide, please. So, as per ESC reports, the mortality rate is 50 to 90% higher for the patient with diabetes and heart failure than the heart failure alone. So, will the new guidelines help to solve the problem? So, let's understand what has changed. Am I audible? Am I audible, boss?
Yes,
Okay. So what is new? So proposed a screening. They say at least annual screening of CKD among the patient of diabetes and inaugural recommendation to screen these patients for the age of 65. So we should screen them for atrial fibrillation by doing an EC at age of 65 in diabetic patients. Introduction of new scoring system they have proposed, score to diabetes. I will tell you about this also. To estimate the 10-year risk of fatal and So, so there is a re-emphasis on the need for healthy eating and exercise along with the weight control, calling the weight reduction is the cornerstone of treatment of those who are obese and recommending 150 minutes of moderate exercise per week, noting every step counts. So that dictum is there, every step counts. At least 150-minute moderate exercise per week should be done by these patients if they are obese. Recommendation of SGLT2 inhibitor and GLP-1 receptor agonist to reduce the risk of heart attack and stroke in all patients with diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So SGLT2 and GLP-1 is having a definite documented evidence that benefits in reducing the risk of heart attack and stroke in diabetic patients with cardiovascular disease. So they are recommended on the top of the standard of care. If the patient needs additional therapy, the guidelines outlines options from other drug classes that can be considered. So which drugs should be considered in which condition we will discuss. So focus of the guideline is the prevention and management of cardiovascular disease in the diabetes patients, and the aspect of pre-diabetes is no longer covered in these current guidelines. But cardiovascular risk assessment is recommended, and they do it by proposed new score. Score 2 diabetes is introduced, and then we can categorize the patients on the basis of this scoring system into those patients which are not having a established ASCVD or established target organ damage. Then we can assess them by score 2 diabetes for 10-year cardiovascular risk. Either they have the established ASCVD, established target organ damage by diabetes, or if they do not have this, then we can do it the risk scoring by score 2 diabetes for 10-year CVD risk, and accordingly we can treat them. So atherosclerotic disease needs if they need the glucose lowering medications, then they also should be based on the various meta-analysis and data from CVOT. The SGLT2 and GLP-1 RAs are the current guidelines which give separate recommendations for patient with or without ASCVD, and special attention is given for the aspect of proven CV benefit and safety of these glucose lowering medications. So those which are proven benefit and proven safe, they should be recommended. Next slide. So if the patient is suppose having heart failure, then detailed recommendations are given for heart failure screening and diagnosis in patient with diabetes, and based on the outcome trials, treatment for heart failure in diabetic patients should be there in the whole spectrum of LVEF, and detailed recommendations are there for glucose lowering medications for heart failure and diabetes. Similarly, for arrhythmia and diabetes, they have given the guidelines for screening for AF at 65 years of age. For CKD and diabetes also they have given the specific guidelines for screening for presence of CKD or development of CKD by using the EGFR or USCAR, and then accordingly treat. So these are the revised concepts came into 2023 to treat it by the guideline based therapy. Next slide. So we can manage the patients of diabetes and screen them for presence of any associated cardiovascular disease, or the patient of cardiovascular disease, we can see the presence of screen the patient and see the presence of diabetes in them. So diabetic patients with cardiovascular disease or cardiovascular disease patient with diabetes, both of them should be seen for the presence of already established ASCVD or target organ damage should be seen. And if there is a associated ASCVD, then these GLP-1 inhibitor and SGLT2 inhibitor, these are the choice. And if the patient is having CKD, then associated CKD and SGLT2 inhibitors or Pindrinone are the choice. And the patient is having heart failure with diabetes, then SGLT2 inhibitors are the class 1 recommendations. Next slide. For all range of EF, SGLT2 is the choice. So recommendation for screening for diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So we should screen all the cardiovascular disease patients for presence or absence of diabetes. This is class 1 indication. We should do the fasting glucose and HbA1c in all cardiovascular disease patients to rule out the type 2 diabetes. It is class 1 recommendation. Next slide. if the patient is having diabetes, then we should screen them for the presence or absence of cardiovascular disease or chronic kidney disease. So recommendations are class 1 for screening for these patients for presence of ASCVD or presence of heart failure or presence of CKD by doing a CKD, EPI or UACR. So these are class 1 recommendations to find out vice versa. If diabetes is there, we should find out CKD or ASCVD, and if the ASCVD is there, then we should try to find out the diabetes. These are all class 1 recommendations. Next. So novel consent is there. Special attention should be given for the CV benefit and safety of these glucose lowering medications. So when we want to choose among the anti-diabetic medications, then we should find out that we should prioritize to use of those medications which are having a proven benefit and proven safety of agents, rather than we should not recommend, we should switch the glucose lowering treatment from agent without proven benefit to agents which are having proven benefits. So we should choose them. So this is the guideline. Next slide, please. So suppose the patient is cardiovascular disease and having diabetes. So then this combination of diabetes and ASCVD, what to do next? Next slide, please. So then they say that there is a definite to reduce the cardiovascular risk independent of glucose control, we can choose GLP-1RA or SGLT2 inhibitor. These two drugs are class 1 recommendation, independent of HbA1c level, independent of glucose control, independent of concomitant glucose lowering medication. GLP-1RA and SGLT2 inhibitors should be preferred over others for glucose lowering treatment in these patients which are having to reduce the cardiovascular risk. Next slide, please. In established ASCVD patients. So to reduce risk independent of glucose control, other drug can be metformin, glutathiones. These are the class 2 indication which have the just CV benefits. So other than GLP-1 and SGLT2, we can go for the metformin and pioglitazone for additional glucose control. Next slide, please. If the patient is having type 2 diabetes and heart failure, next slide, please. Then SGLT2 inhibitors are the beneficial drug to reduce the heart failure related outcomes in diabetic patients. In all ranges of heart failure, ejection fraction like preserved, mid-range or reduced ejection fraction, all classes independent of the HbA1c level, independent of concomitant other glucose lowering medication. SGLT2 inhibitor is class 1 recommendation, they should be there on board. Next slide, please. So for additional glucose control, other than glucose lowering agents which have neutral effect on heart failure and CVOTs should be considered, which are neutral. So these are not contraindicated, but they are neutral. So they are GLP-1RA or sitagliptin, linagliptin or metformin or insulin, glargine or insulin, another one deglutide. So other glucose lowering agents which have increased risk of heart failure like pioglitazone and sitagliptin, these should be avoided. Class 3, they should not be given heart failure patients. Next slide, please. Suppose another scenario is diabetes with CKD. Next slide, please. What to do in that case? So then we can, for treatment of patients with diabetes and CKD, to reduce the cardiovascular risk, we should give the statin-based regimen. So statin is the class 1 for these patients to reduce the cardiovascular risk and to reduce the kidney failure risk in diabetic patients. ACE inhibitor or ARB are the class 1, and to reduce the cardiovascular and kidney failure risk, we can choose SGLT2 inhibitor. We should control the BP. We can use finerenone. So next slide, please. So for additional glucose control in CKD patients, glucose lowering medication suggested with suggested cardiovascular benefit is GLP-1RA, and glucose lowering medication with neutral or no proven benefit is metformin, DPP-4 inhibitor and insulin. So these can be chosen for additional glucose control in CKD patients. Next slide, please. So the novel concept is that without ASCVD or severe target organ damage, a novel diabetes specific risk score is introduced, that is score to diabetes. So this is new risk scoring system where diabetes along with established ASCVD is not there, established target organ is not there, but we have to stratify by the basis of score to diabetes. Next slide, please. So score to diabetes is a new risk prediction tool, and how it has developed. First they have developed original score to algorithm, then they have adaptation of this score to in diabetic patients, score to diabetes they have developed. Then they have done the validation of this score to diabetes at Sweden, Spain, Malta and Croatia, and then this validated score to diabetes is introduced in this new guidelines. Next slide, please. So they have done development process of this. They have done original score to algorithm. There are 10 years risk of fatal or non-fatal CV events was there in original score 2. That was not for diabetes. Then next slide, please. Then they have done a study in the diabetic patients and then validated it in the various places as I mentioned. Next slide, please. So this validated score to diabetes risk score, it estimates the 10-year risk of cardiovascular event in individual with the diabetic patient. So if the patient is diabetic but not having ASCVD, not having target organ damage, but we can stratify on the basis of this score to diabetes risk score system, but further future 10-year estimate of risk of cardiovascular events. So it discriminates the risk in individual with diabetes using the conventional CVD risk factor, those specifically related to diabetes. So they calibrated to predict the CVD risk and divided the patient into low. So aligned with the score to risk predictions for individuals without diabetes, and then separate risk score for men and women are proposed for type 2 diabetes in this score to diabetes risk scoring system. Next. So on the basis of this, we can divide the patients into very high risk, that is more than 20% development of ASCVD in next 10 years. High risk is 10 to 20 and moderate is 5 to 10 and low is the less than 5% chance in next 10 years for ASCVD or target organ damage. Next slide, please. So very high risk patients, for suppose we can accordingly doing the risk categorization and then we can give the treatment for LDL cholesterol reduction. Very high risk patient should be treated for less than 55 milligram per DL, class 1 recommendation. High risk patient for go for less than 70 and moderate risk can go for a less than 100 milligram per DL LDL cholesterol target. So these are the recommended LDL cholesterol target on the basis of this score to diabetes risk categories. Next slide, please.
Dr. Jain,
Yeah.
your time is up, so please try to finish.
Okay, I think this is last slide. Glucose lowering treatment for patient with diabetes to reduce the CV risk. So we can choose accordingly as per the 10-year CVD risk. Risk assessment should be done by score to diabetes. Next slide, please. So additional aspect addressed in these guidelines are lifestyle and diabetes, glycemic targets, BP management, lipid management, antithrombotic therapy, multifactorial approach, then management of CAD in diabetics, arrhythmia in diabetics, aortic and peripheral artery disease in diabetes, and type 1 diabetes and CVD risk. Next slide, please. So there is a person-centered care approach where we take the consent of the person and explain regarding the disease of diabetes and cardiovascular disease. So person-centered care is also highlighted in these guidelines. Thank you. Next slide. Thank you very much for patient listening.
Thank you. So as we are delay of our schedule, I will like to wind up this session and I will over to Dr. Alok sir for further proceedings.
Okay, thank you. Now I invite